I'm at the Baltimore, Maryland port, having some quality time. The time now is 1:24 p.m. on Tuesday. And I've been sitting here since 8:30. Came in at 8:30. I was supposed to, they told me my appointment was for 8. But I know how these ports are, so I think I'm supposed to pick up something like that. Something like those crates. Mine is just 16 feet long, 9 feet 11 inches wide, and 8 feet tall, but weighs 46,000 pounds. And they're doing something with cranes over here, and it looks like they're real busy today. And the way they do it, you know, you just you check in. Just checking my mic here. Yeah, I'm using my new external mic. Yeah, you check in at the office and they make copies of your paperwork, take your pass, and then the guy said maybe a while, sit in your truck, someone will come and get you. And they have these guys in pickup trucks or cars with a very long, you know, stick and like a pole with a flag, kind of like what they use at mine trucks. I mean, on yeah, like those guys driving around oil fields and mines. And I've been sitting since 8:30 to 11:25. Finally decided to go check. Went into the office to see what the progress was, and the guy sits there, but in front of him is a sign that says back at 1 p.m. And I said, what is this? There was another driver sitting there, because evidently I cannot talk to this guy, right? So, and I remember that they have very long lunch break here. And so I asked the other driver, I forgot, when does it start? And he says 11:30. So 11:30 to 1, and he just wastes his time. Oh, here's another Mack, the same kind of truck like mine, 4-axle. Huh, cute, good. Just the different color. And by the way, I've been noticing that lots of companies remove the trailer manufacturer logo from the gooseneck and they put their company name. You know, I don't want to do that because Kaufman has been really good to me. Oh, check out this guy. I wanted to check out the bow of his trailer. See how he's all bent? I was looking at this guy, like, that trailer looks real ready to break. You know, I don't know if it's because of this load. He has those 2 crates that are probably very heavy, or it's been like that probably maybe before, but that doesn't look, you know, very good. And anyway, like, what do you do when you have, so I only had a coffee and protein bar in the morning, and I did a wise thing that, you know, I knew I was going to the port, so at least I took water. I bought a big jug of water, you know, like a gallon, because they're like $2 at the truck stop, maybe $1 at Walmart, but I already used up the one I had from Walmart. But I didn't buy any apples or bananas. I should have done that. And so that was my only meal and I left the truck stop. Where was I? I was in northeast Maryland, basically 45 miles or 70 kilometers. And So I left at 7 and now it's 1:30, so that's all I had to eat. That's sometimes what happens when you forget to buy, you know, supplies. You always have to have some food in the truck, because here there's nothing. Like, they have a couple of machines where you can buy like a Coke or something, but I don't even know if they work, and I have only 10 cents in coins. The rest is basically I'm just using my, you know, debit and credit cards. And so what do you do when you have such a long waiting time? Oh, and there's no detention. Of course, I emailed my dispatch asking if, because I know they don't pay, but I just double checked, you know. Sometimes they do, because there was an appointment, right? And I got a response saying that no, ports are unpredictable. We cannot control the stevedores, those guys that load you. So no detention. And so I was talking to a friend of mine, a tanker driver, for 2 hours on the phone, because I got unlimited calling, and he was in US. He was driving in Michigan on I-94 towards Nebraska, and we were just chatting, you know, there's nothing else to do. Then I played with my computer, then I went out and put all my signs on the front, and I unfolded the one in the back. I added my flags. So I'm all ready to rock and roll, because I only have to add 2 more flags in the middle, and I'm thinking I'm gonna put them on the crate. So that's the plan, to get loaded and leave. And I already have my permits, Baltimore and Pennsylvania. The problem is that, as you can see, the time is 1:30 now, right? So the permit says I cannot drive through Baltimore after 3, or is it 3:30? Okay, I think 3:30. So and I'm still here, I'm still not loaded, I'm still empty. So I think by the time they finish, it'll be 3, or maybe 5 to 3. Okay, let me just double check. Yeah, 3:30. So move only between 9 a.m. and 3:30 on I-95, I-495, 695, and Maryland 695, like local highway, and I-695. And that's what I need, because I need that to go to oh, the guy's calling me. Yeah, so the guy finally showed up in that car, you know, motioned to me to follow him, and he escorted me to the very end of the pavement, right next to the water. And there was some kind of a deck. No, actually it was like a trailer, but one of those trailers they use to move stuff from the ship. And the guy just parked under this huge crane, you know, that moves on rails, like the one that loads containers and stuff like that. And he just took that crate, my crate, and it's only, like I said, what, 16 feet long. He took it off, and the port truck moved that little trailer away, because there was another skid on it. And I parked next to it, next to my skid, and the guy just loaded. And I have some boards in the back, right? And we were talking about, you know, whether I should move them. And I said, can you try to lower it down and see if it'll touch the boards? And the man, like, what do you call them? The manager of these guys that were, you know, up securing straps and everything, you know, it's like those, what do they call them, stevedores. And the manager is like smoking a thick cigar, you know, like very important guy, and he says, I'm not gonna try, I'm gonna lower it. You know, that's always interesting to hear when you've been sitting and waiting for these guys since 8:30. Basically, what was it, 2 o'clock when the guy motioned me to follow him. Well, but I'm just saying, you know, that's a comment that you not kind of expect, but anyway, we put it down, and I saw that it was, yeah, it was sitting on top of my board, so I said, you have to lift it. And the guy, oh boy, you know, they hate to lift it and put it down, so each time it's like a lift. I think they go by lifts. So anyway, he lifted like 2 inches. I moved my boards, we put it down, and I got my empty scale ticket, and of course there was no time to drive anywhere because it was already like 2:30 by the time I went through security and went out of the port. So I'm just, you know, my dash here, it's all at an angle, so it's kind of hard to find the proper location so that I don't look like this. Yeah, I have my empty ticket. So empty with full fuel, I'm 47,420 now. And so I went to the Baltimore TA, and now I know my loaded weight, but I'm at 75% fuel. So my gross weight is 90,560 minus 47,420, so 43,140 pounds, and my paperwork says 46,300. And like I said, my scale ticket, the empty one, is with full fuel, which means that now I am actually lighter. I am not that heavy, so probably deduct another 300 pounds. So this thing is, let's say, 43,000 for sure. So much lighter than the paperwork indicates. But I'm still pretty heavy on the truck, and we did move it away. I should have put it closer to the end of the trailer, but then I have these stupid boards in there, you know. I already moved them. Oh, and this thing is actually legal. It's all wrapped up in plastic and this, you know, factory machine, and it's legal width, legal height, everything, except it's heavy for me because my trailer is heavy, and it sits on a platform, like a wooden platform that sticks out. So if I were to cut, if I had a saw and I could cut that platform, like 1 foot on each side, it will be a legal load. So basically we're getting all these permits, and we're putting all the signs on the truck and flags just because of that wooden platform, which for some reason they decided to make bigger than the unit. And this happened to me before, like sometimes when they move transformers, the same thing, you know, like a transformer itself is legal size, but the platform it sits on is big, and you have to have all these, you have to pay all these, you know, permit fees and stuff like that. So anyway, so I sent an email to dispatch saying, letting them know that there's not enough time now. I spent a whole day at the port. I cannot drive on I-95 past 3:30, right? And I was here at 3:10, so I know for sure that that's not enough time to get off I-95 and I-695. And plus over there's no truck stops, you know. There's one crooked truck stop with like 20 parking spaces right when you enter Pennsylvania, but I already figured, oh boy, yeah, here I thought I could move before 7:30, but that's only in Pennsylvania. Shoot, so now I'm stuck here till 9 o'clock. Yeah, because it says I only have 6.5 hours, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. for I-95, I-495, and I-695. Shoot. I thought I would sneak out because the sunrise is at 6. No, it's 7. No, 6:30. 6:30, and I'm allowed to drive 30 minutes before. So I thought, hey, I'll start driving at 6, and I'll outsmart everybody because the curfew begins at 7:30. And it turns out I'm not as smart as I think I am, because 7:30 to, that's for Pennsylvania, you know. Yeah, 7:30 to 9, I think. But anyway, so my delivery is Thursday, and today's Tuesday, you know. And from here to the border, you guys must know these things. So TA Baltimore, TA Baltimore, O'Donnell Street, to Peace Bridge, Buffalo, New York. Okay, 370. Oops, sorry, it's too reflective. 367 miles, 6.5 hours. So if I want to, I can do it all tomorrow. I just need to get out of Maryland and Pennsylvania, and I already have all the permits. And yeah, so tomorrow is Wednesday, so my delivery is Thursday in Ontario. Cool. Oh, and tomorrow I'm picking up my Fleet Air filter. It should be waiting for me in Buffalo. So on the way to the border, I'll just hitch a ride or something, because it's off my route, and pick up the filter, and hopefully I'll see some performance and fuel mileage improvements. And I decided to switch my odometer to kilometers for some reason, because I wanted to see that 50,000 kilometers magic number. That's the Mack shop tells me I should see around that number. I should see some changes. And this morning I was at 50,002 kilometers. So just at the end of the day, I'm at 50,090 kilometers. So basically, like, what, 31,000 miles. So I only did 88 kilometers, or what, 55 miles today. And that's what happens sometimes. Sometimes it's all waiting, and you make no money. Oh, and which reminds me, I don't know why that reminds me, but I gotta go eat something, because that protein bar is long gone, and all I had was just this water, Pure Life. But you know, if you want to live, that's not enough. So let's go see what the restaurant has to offer, because another thing I have to worry about is this little ticket here. When you enter the truck stop, the clock starts ticking, because they charge 15 bucks for every 24 hours of parking here, unless you can show them receipts for $20 spent in the truck stop, or I think 50 gallons of fuel. And because I just scaled, so I'm 50% on the way to my goal of $20. I'm $10.50. That's what it costs to scale the truck. So now we're gonna go to the restaurant, and I have to remember get the receipt. Otherwise, last time I didn't get it, and the guy I had to pay 15 bucks at the gate there. So that was a quick update to another trip. So not too heavy, but still oversized. And talk to you guys later. Not sure yet what my next load is. Maybe there'll be something, maybe not, because end of the week it's always tricky. You never know what the shippers are up to. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.